walls are incredible. They stretch for 50 miles and they're definitely man-made. But what I find even more interesting is that they've never been officially examined. Who built them? When? And why? One theory says the Chinese did, long before Columbus discovered the New World. The idea of the Chinese coming to America before Columbus is not new. It's been around for hundreds of years. I've received a lot of tips from people who think there is evidence here. I've actually worked on a project where stone boat anchors were found off the coast of Los Angeles that Chinese ships coming over here trading had dropped down and left. But first, I want to know who from China could have come here and how they could have made such an epic voyage. So, Gunnar, I understand you're the man to talk to about early Chinese exploration of the world.
Yes, there were migrations across the ocean. They left artifacts, they left legends, but what is really important is the explorers that made maps.
Which dynasty is associated with exploration?
Oh, the most important dynasty would have been in the 15th century, and that would be the Ming dynasty, and it was referred to as the golden era of Chinese history. The main emperor was Zhu Di, and he picked a navigator by the name of Zheng He to be his admiral to send fleets across the oceans.
Tell me a little bit about those explorations and how big were these fleets?
Well, there were 7 expeditions in all. The largest fleet at the beginning was about 137 ships and 28,000 men.
28,000?
28,000.
Do you think they made it to North America?
I know they did because it's on their maps. The first one here is generally called the Shanhai Jing, which means the Book of Mountains and Seas. There are elements within the Shanhai Jing that have a correspondence with real life, so there is a good reason to believe that this map was based on that geographical account.
So I'm guessing that this circled area here is probably China.
Yes.
And I suspect that's Africa, that's Europe. Then this can only be North and South America, right?
Right. Some of the territories on this map also reflect references to geography. One of those is the Great Luminous Canyon, and some people have said that it referred to the Grand Canyon.
Is that mentioned here in the text?
On the text of this map, it's called here the Bright Chasm Mountain. It says High Skies Mountains, and that might relate to the high mountains of Alaska, I think. And then in the southern part, there's a section that says Depending on Heaven Mountains, and that could correlate to the Andes.
Andes, sure.
This is where we get into the situation of a Chinese map being an improvement over an earlier map. You can probably identify some territories on this map.
Yes, I can. We got Africa here. We got Europe. We've got India. We've got China. We've got Asia. And this over here can only be North America and South America.
In a lot of cases, these ancient maps are like fingerprints.
Right.
They're the kind of proof that you'd look for at a crime scene that tell you exactly who did the map, what's on it, and when it was done.
What's the age of this map, then?
The original was done by navigators that went with Zheng He in about 1435.
Clearly it's Chinese, and it's got very good representations of North and South America. I mean, this is before Columbus.
Exactly.
After looking at impressive man-made walls outside of San Francisco, and a series of maps crafted by the Chinese in the 1400s, I'm thinking there's good reason to believe the Chinese beat Christopher Columbus to America.
There's a treasure hunter who found this buried in ground 4 inches down.
Wow, and this was how long ago?
He found it in 1993, western part of North Carolina, into the foothills of Appalachian.
So this was found in North America in the Appalachian Mountains, 250 miles from the ocean.
Right.
Do I see Chinese characters here?
Yes, it says Great Ming Shen De commissioned or delegated to give.
It's possible, and this medallion could be a clue. But the provenance of it is a problem. I'm a bit skeptical, until Dr. Lee reveals his second piece of evidence, a map. Made public in 1602, but that was likely made long before.
It's always thought to be the work of an Italian Jesuit named Matteo Ricci, who came to China in 1582.
Okay, so they think that he was the one that made this map.
Yes, people always think that he got his information from European maps and translated that into Chinese. But this map is not translated from European maps. It is a map done by the Chinese 60 years before Columbus set sail. Europe is very old. It doesn't have Florence. It doesn't have the Papal States. As a Jesuit, Matteo Ricci could not have left out Florence and the Papal States.
Well, no, he wouldn't have left out.
It's just like a U.S. map today without Washington, D.C. and New York City.
Since this map makes no reference to some major European cities, like Florence, it's likely it was created and translated much earlier than the 1500s. Therefore, I believe Dr. Lee makes a good argument that the Chinese discovered North America long before Columbus. America here. What I see with all the rivers, the mountains, I mean, you can tell immediately that that is North America. This is going to take hundreds of years of mapping to get this level of detail. This had to have been long before Columbus to develop a map of this detail. I mean, this is incredible.
You can actually identify the places today, matching the names on this map. There's a name here, Apalchang, which is now Appalachian. This name appeared in another Chinese map that predates Ritchie's map.
That's amazing.
The knowledge of western part of North America is only started with Lewis and Clark in 1804 to 1806.
That's laughable now.
So it's 200 years before Lewis and Clark. We already have the western part of North America in such detail.
To get that level of detail would have taken hundreds of years, and according to established history, Europeans could not have done it. So really the only other plausible candidates you have are the Chinese. Because half of the names are not found on European maps mean that the Chinese had to have been to these places, named them before Columbus made any of his 4 voyages.
That's absolutely true.
I'm in